Hey Siri, what year was the University of Oxford founded?
University of Oxford was formed in 1096.
That's 1096. That means the University of Oxford is 1,000 years old. It's the oldest English-speaking university in the world. And why am I telling you about Oxford University? Because today I'm very excited to announce a partnership between the University of Oxford and CreativeLive. That's right, big deal. Now that's thing one. Thing two is like, why is it a big deal? Because this marks a tipping point today. Now I've been talking about this tipping point for more than a decade. Remember, this is the guy who told you that the best camera is the one that's with you, that the future was about photography was going to be largely mobile. When the iPhone first came out, I started taking pictures of it every day, and I used those pictures as a visual notebook to inform my professional work. But then I realized something more. I realized that the best camera is the one that's with you. Images aren't about dynamic range and megapixels. They're about stories and moments. I told you that online learning was going to be a thing 10 years ago. And I used to just share it to 50 people or 100 people, and maybe 250 at if I'd talk at a school or something, and maybe 500 in a size auditorium like this. And I felt really good about that. And then something happened. The whole technology world, the internet, came alive. That was a magical moment for me. What that made me want to do is put the hammer down. Those social tools were available for us. And now, instead of speaking to 50, 500, or 5,000, I could speak to 50,000. Or if I was lucky and said something smart, 500,000 people could hear. And again, we're sharing ideas. We're getting them out in the world, not hoarding them. For the first time, sharing was scalable. I've been saying for a long time that creativity is the new literacy. And what I meant by that was, a long time ago, we invested in literacy and it changed culture. So literacy is this thing that used to be reserved for very, very wealthy, for royalty, for clergy, and they have a name for this period in time. It's called the Dark Ages, okay? And then what happened is this thing was invented called the printing press, and they realized that, wow, this stuff is valuable. If people can read, they're more likely to have a successful life. Let's cultivate this. And so a ton of resources, a ton of energy, a ton of personal belief was poured into making the culture literate. So imagine, if you will, if we can take that same model, and I think it's pretty good now, but just wait. If we can take all those people and take that same level, the same passion that we had for literacy 1,000 years ago and apply it to creativity, what could happen? What would our enlightenment be? Why today is important is because this is the tipping point where the University of Oxford is not just giving creative classes to the people in their art school. This is for all 24,000 students at the university. Doesn't matter if you're the dental school, the School of Public Health, the School of Management, or art. They all have access to CreativeLive. I believe that this is finally the mainstream signal that by investing in creativity that we will transform the future of humanity. I want to read you something, just a quick blurb from the press release. So this is from Anna Bakshi. She's the director of the Oxford Foundry. She explains, quote, Oxford students excel academically, but they need to build their hustling skills too, the things that will set them apart, make them strong, adaptable, and creative leaders. Regardless of what they're studying or what they intend to do professionally, they need to be able to collaborate, communicate, and innovate. At the Foundry, we're committed to empowering young people to explore all sorts of career pathways and to encourage them to create and take ventures. By giving Oxford students access to CreativeLive's online learning catalog, we're supporting them to unlock skills and abilities which will be a real and lasting possession far into the future, whatever they intend to do or become. Make no mess about it. This is the real deal. I know and you know that there's a creator in all of us, that we are all born with creativity, and historically our culture has trained creativity out of us. Now that we've hit this tipping point, and I'm telling you today that creativity will be a part of the zeitgeist. It will be in everything you do. I have a message for you. You are creative. It is a natural trait, it's our natural state as humans. It's one of the things that differentiates us from all the other species on the planet. We're wildly creative. Now, if this is resonating with you, no big deal, you totally get this and you're excited, then high five, nice job, high five. If you might be doubting this, or you've sort of become disconnected from your creativity, either through the school system, the job, or some programming across our culture, which is very rampant, then I want you to pay attention just for a second. Because we are creating machines, that's what our job is as humans. Even if you're in a stuck place, you have the ability to rewire your brain to become creative again. And if you think of yourself as a creator and you take small creative actions every day, that's why, like taking a photograph every day and sharing it, playing the guitar, cooking meals for your family, coding, any of these things where you're taking disparate ideas, putting them together to make something new and useful, that literally has the capacity to rewire your brain for creativity, capital C. And what I mean by that is solving huge problems, and most importantly, realizing that in this little creative act that you do every day, that you actually have the ability to create the life that you want. That is a big thing. Let that sink in for just a second. So I know this has been a little bit of a rant. I'm just super excited. And you know where to go to check out CreativeLive. If you want to attend the University of Oxford, you know how to do that. It's a little bit more complicated, so maybe check out the former. Anyway, I'm just super excited, very, very honored to be partnering with the University of Oxford, and we're just getting started, y'all. We've been doing this for 10 years, but we're just getting started. Let's go do this.